All right, guys, welcome back to Behind Closed Doors. Today is July 15th. We have a lot to get through, but most importantly, right away, we just had a Twitter hack on some of the biggest people you know, including Jeff Bezos, Kanye West, and even Mr. Bill Gates, the man that is said to be one of the richest men ever. All these guys are rich. How did this happen? How did this happen on Twitter?
So it's still developing, and it's been going on all day, and I don't get how people fall for this. So the biggest accounts, like Pete said, have been tweeting out that they're in a giving mood. Give me 1 Bitcoin or 1,000 in Bitcoin, and I'll give back 2,000. And people have tracked the hash rate, and it seems like over $100,000 in Bitcoin has already been transferred to this, like, that's been traced to this scam. It's probably more by now. So it's the biggest Twitter accounts, period. It's Bezos, Kanye, Elon Musk. It's Coinbase, Binance, which are the 2 biggest exchanges in the world. They're tweeting out this shit. And A, I don't get how people are falling for this in 2020. And B, this is clearly a hack on Twitter internally. These aren't their personal accounts being hacked. So now there's a rumor that it's a Twitter employee that's actually doing this, because a lot of these companies, technology companies, it's very dangerous. There's God mode. Like in Uber early on, there was God mode. Facebook early on, there was God mode, where you can literally see where everyone's rides were. I had a friend at Uber that could tell me, like, oh, yeah, you went somewhere at 1 a.m. Like, where were you going? Like, it's crazy. They have access to all this information. And there's no way Bezos doesn't have 2-factor authorization on his damn Twitter account. He's one of the most powerful people in the world. It's just insane.
Where are you hearing this from, that it's a Twitter employee?
Zero Hedge, which is a Twitter account that actually got banned from Twitter in January and got reinstated because they were saying that the World Health Organization was giving misinformation. And so Twitter banned them. When they realized that they were actually right, Twitter had to reinstate them. It's a big news source.
So let's peel back the layers on this. So this is brand new breaking news to
me.
This
is going on right now.
Right now. Live.
Right now, there's tweets going right now. All these guys.
And I want to break it down because a lot of people, even the way you said it was pretty quick for me. So pretty much there's a hacker who finally got access to something called God mode. God mode, you can go on anyone's account and do whatever you want on it, correct? Like you just click an icon, you're like, I'm Bill Gates, I can tweet this on now.
Breaking news, Barack Obama has been hacked. This is crazy.
And then the hacker, what their whole play is to make money.
Yep.
Is they go on and they try to say, send me X amount of Bitcoins and I'll send you some back, and people are actually sending it.
Yes. It's insane.
So yeah, the tweet went like, I'm feeling generous because of COVID-19. This is what Elon had tweeted out, or his hacked account. I'll double any BTC payment sent to my BTC address for the next hour. Good luck and stay safe out there. And then with the link below.
Cool. I'm actually surprised only $100,000 was sent. Knowing how
probably more. I mean, this is all real time. Someone texted me that like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, this is at 4:17, depending on where that's from.
You guys want to know something funny? When I sold a lot of my XPXC, I was like, I have to go long tech. I have to buy tech. And one of the companies I bought a lot of, I bought 500 shares of Twitter like a couple of days ago.
How's Twitter done? Hasn't tech gone down the last few days despite the market going up?
Twitter's been okay. It's right around my cost basis, but it's about to go down like 5 or 10% because of this. I'm surprised it's not. Let's see what it's at. Is this going to affect the stock? Am I just like the worst stock picker in the world?
You might be, but this will affect the stock near term, but long term it won't.
We're down 3.7% after hours.
It's actually kind of a lot.
Right. Well, whenever I buy stocks, I let you guys know so you can go the opposite way.
Yeah. That seems to be the constant trend with you. What do we have anything more in this developing story? Is that kind of it for right now?
Maybe by the end of the episode, we'll have some new information. Let's see.
Okay. So we'll cover definitely more of this on Friday's episode of Group Chat because we'll know a lot more information then. But until then, this is an ongoing story that'll be very interesting to find out who's behind this and what is actually happening with this. Moving on to another big story on it after a lot of back and forth words in the last episode and Taylor banning you somehow made it on today's episode. What's it like to have such a big comeback like that against all adversity?
You know, I'm a peaceful guy. So, you know, when there's a chance to make amends and everyone can be happy, I'm always rooting for that.
Great. Taylor, your thoughts on it being here?
Man, I can't really bite from the hand that feeds me. Not that I'm getting fed, but
He wants to sell some more courses via our newsletter.
yeah.
The next like 6 articles, all like underneath it, but the last thing, if you want to write like me, take my course.
Oh, I should do a course on how to write a newsletter and how to grow a newsletter audience.
Yes.
You should, because Substack is blowing up. It's like the new thing. It's like the new version of podcasting is writing newsletters.
Yeah, no, I'm an early adapter. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good course right there. That's a good idea.
Well, we get a percentage now. We came up with the idea.
I want, 25%.
Cool. You'll get 25% of net profits minus, all of our
Gross
expenses.
revenue. I'm not a dummy.
Net profits minus like my payroll, which is 99% of revenue.
In other big news, so we're happy to have Anand back. The guy brings a lot of spice to this part, especially when a lot of people want to hear more from you, especially in the side of things like we have a new vaccine, right? What is developing in that?
The world's safe. We're all fine. Go out there and fucking party.
Great. About goddamn time.
Taylor was ahead of his time.
I'm ahead of the curve on newsletters, on shorting the market because it's about to tank in 4 months from now, on going out and partying. I'm too early. That's my problem.
So this company, Moderna, pharmaceutical company, claims to have developed a vaccine. They've tested it on a few hundred patients, and the tests show that they increase the antibodies that you need to defeat the virus. Let's be very clear, this is so early, but the market was up like 600 points yesterday because of a couple hundred people with better antibodies. That's the world we live in today.
So what happens to the market the second that they actually do confirm one and we actually have the vaccine? Does that just mean everything in the world just goes shooting back through the roof?
I think it tanks.
Why does it tank then? What kind of fucking math is this? This isn't even 1 + 1 = 2. This is 1 + 1 = 8.
I mean, the stock market's higher than it was before Corona.
Yeah.
It go up in Corona.
We're above the top. We're not recovering anymore. We're already above we're at all-time highs.
So there is a better chance for the market to go down if there was no Corona. That's what's crazy.
That's insane.
To say I understand that, I don't like what, how? So it's not good for us to open back up.
Well, so here's the issue. Why it actually might be pretty terrible if we open back up. The Fed will stop pumping money to backstop the stock market. And then everyone will realize we're swimming naked and the businesses actually all are terrible. Like, look down the street. There's nothing open. It's 50 million people.
Do they not know that? Do they not know they're about to crash it? I'm just confused at what these people do with their days if they don't realize this as much as we do.
I mean, I honestly have no explanation other than it's just the Fed pumping money, which is backstopping the stock market. It's almost like the government has made a strategic effort, be like, we're shutting you down. We have no idea how long you're going to be shut down. It's going to be on and off until there's a vaccine. Americans don't listen. We don't listen to any rules. So we're going to be forced to shut down. The only thing that we can stop civil unrest and revolt is to keep the stock market hot, keep the TikTokers hot on Robinhood, keep everyone making money and kind of just mentally fool them that the life they're living is better than the actuality of the world is cratering.
It's insane. I saw a great tweet about someone, you guys might have seen, I might be butchering, but she was pretty much like, oh my God, isn't it so crazy? We did the exact opposite of what we were supposed to do to combat Corona, and it's still here, and we still have to lock down.
I saw that. It was just like, we've done everything wrong. We did a lockdown that lasted for, I think people in April actually were locked down.
For the first couple of weeks, then they're like, it's fine. But it's the same thing with the market. It's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, nothing makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Everyone's firing more people, but their stocks jump every time you fire. So
yeah, you're getting lean.
So let's talk post Corona. What is your advice right now looking at it? If things are about to crash, what are you giving from a financial standpoint and then from just a life standpoint? Give me like 2 or 3 tips real quick.
I think financial standpoint, be careful. I've been wrong the entire pandemic about the stock market.
You said be careful about the stock market during the pandemic, but it's only gone through the roof.
Up. And a lot of smart people who've made a lot of money in the last 3 months because they understood the Fed's mechanisms better than I do, made a shit ton of money, and they're going to cash. So the game's rigged. Rich people will always stay rich, and rich people will always get richer. So until you get there and to the other side of the velvet rope, be very cautious in life.
Yeah. So speaking of being cautious in life, I just bought a $3,000 road bike today. Is that stupid?
Well, price went up. Prices went up $500.
No, with the shoes and the clips and the other bullshit.
So you didn't even think about just like buying the bike, maybe getting the shoes later, just like test out.
Did you get the uniform too? Are you gonna wear those tights?
Yeah, uniform.
Gotta get that Paul Ripke uniform.
Yeah, I should actually hit him up.
What's the plan? You bought the bike. What are the odds you're done cycling in 2 months?
I put $10 on it.
Well, first of all,
Actually, a month.
what are the odds I'm still in Austin in a month? First of all, the bike is.
Well, I think there's a good chance you're still in Austin. You're betting on homes right now.
Yeah, I'm losing now.
But I think he's just gonna bid on him and Airbnb him. He's not fucking living in that house.
No, that was a nice house, by the way.
I'm sure it was.
Oh, here we go again with this house.
Or whatever, you guys are busy. So I've been hanging out with Matt from Life by Spot.
Right.
A lot. He's super cool. Have you ever met him in person or just D?
I think just D.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's awesome. And it's like all of him, his friends are all like extremely successful. And they're talking about like going road biking and cycling. I'm like, okay, cool, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, all right, you have to go to this bike store, get this. And like literally like a pair of shorts in that bike store is like $200. I'm just tight.
It's the golf mentality.
It's mom mentality. Like you have to buy this bike. And they're all like, they're talking about like, they all have like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 bikes. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is going to be a really expensive hobby. But it reminds me of Run Club. They go every Saturday. It's cool people. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll just bite the bullet.
So they ride, where do they go? Describe in Austin where they go.
Like, I don't know well enough. I just follow them. They go up the hills and by the river.
Got it. So on a given day, how many miles are you riding?
Yeah.
I did this morning at 6:30 a.m. and we probably rode 15 miles.
Okay, that's legit. Me and D used to road bike around LA. It was probably the dumbest and most dangerous thing we've ever done.
I don't know. Well, first of all, with traffic, biking is really fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We would be so stupid. We would just go on Santa Monica and go straight to the beach. I'm shocked we didn't get hit or.
Really fucking scary because I've never had respect for bikers as a driver because I'm like, what the fuck are you bikers doing? Like, stop cutting me off. First of all, you're clipped in, so you can't just like stop and put your foot down.
Right.
So like you have to keep moving, which is really hard. You don't have rear view mirrors, so like you're really balanced. And then to turn and look where the cars are, you're not looking forward. You have to look to the side. You're moving your whole body weight. It's really fucking dangerous.
Yeah, guy in our group, we went to Manhattan Beach from my apartment, which is mid-city LA by the Beverly Center, and back. And on the way back, we were on Robertson, and I think just out of fatigue, he like looked and lost balance and broke his collarbone.
Yeah, they were saying that someone else was biking with their crew, and his handlebar came a little loose, and he fell and broke his arm.
So what can you not be convinced of?
That's also what I was wondering.
Like, what would someone say? Like, hey, Taylor, we're a group of us. We do this. No, I'm just not into it. Forget violence and all that stupid shit. I'm talking about like hobbies. Like, what hobby could you not be convinced of?
Anything illegal or
Okay.
anything that's like not nice to people where you're like putting like it's hurting anyone really. Like actually hurting someone. Drugs, like I can't really get convinced of that because that shit's like those drugs are pretty scary. Shut up, Pete.
Okay, right. Scary.
I don't know, like, but you guys think it's a bad thing, but I think it's cool to be open-minded and trying things.
Oh, no. You remind me of this guy I used to know. You just buy in quickly. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
Like,
but you test quickly, and you test to know quickly, and you learn quickly.
but
That's fun.
yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think. 27. You're 27 or 28 now?
27.
27. At 27, I kind of knew what I liked and disliked. Like, I think I formed my habits. The only thing I
You ever
did.
lived in a foreign country?
What's that?
You ever lived in a foreign country?
No, I've never lived in a foreign country.
You ever lived anywhere outside of LA?
No.
Have you ever like seriously played soccer or done CrossFit or done like tried a different language? Like, I just think you understand what you know and you don't like, but within what you've been exposed to. I think you would love living somewhere else, but you've just never been exposed to it.
Yeah, no, I think I seriously considered it right after college. I was like a coin flip away from living in New York City for 2 years. and I decided not to. Didn't really have a good reason. I probably would have liked to have lived somewhere else early on in my 20s, but I think the thing you kind of discount, and everyone should choose their own path. The relationships I formed in my late 20s and early 30s by being in one place, and it so happens to be a place with a lot of connected people, like those relationships got so deep, and that's why our network is our network.
Right.
And I get the adventure, I get the dream of living in Bali and all these places. Like, I get it. Everyone should do what they want, but your relationships will be very different. And that might be an okay sacrifice to do.
And other big news, real quick, Kanye dropped out. Just give me your first word that came to your mind when you heard the news that Kanye dropped out. Go ahead, Anand.
Clown.
Taylor?
There goes my vote.
You're abstaining from the election now?
I think I might have to. That was the guy I liked.
And
Yeah,
just like that, we're fucked.
This is the problem. These stunts are just they're just degrading our society. And he had no intentions of running. He convinced a large portion of the population that he was semi-serious. He has Chance the Rapper saying he'd be better than Biden. And now these are people with platforms. So now those people are going to be like, fuck Biden, I'm not voting. And this is how you can literally swing elections by we have to start taking institutions seriously, because the reason why we're shut down, the reason why the economy is cratering is because we have terrible leadership. And unless young people realize, like, if Donald Trump had worn a fucking mask 4 months ago, there'd be half the number of deaths and we wouldn't be shut down.
Correct. So that's the constant battle we face right now. Who knows what we get in the future. But yes, it does need to be taken more serious, because if not, we're going to be back in this position before we know it. What about Walmart? Walmart, unlike Trump, decided to make masks mandatory. That's in all stores, correct, across the U.S.? Is that international as well?
I think each country will be different. So most of the countries they're in, I'd probably mandate masks. But
right.
The U.S., finally, why didn't we do this 3 months ago?
This will tick off a lot of Midwestern, especially where Walmarts are huge in these smaller areas in the United States. We're going to see some Karens really come alive, because Walmart has been their safe haven, and now we're taking it away from them by requiring masks.
Yeah, Walmarts in different cities. I didn't understand the cultural impact of a Walmart until I went to a Walmart in buttfuck nowhere. Because in LA, it's just it doesn't mean much to me, because outside the city, we never really go. Walmart in these places in Florida and the South I've been to, that's your city center. That's your town hall. That's where you go. That's your mall. That's you do everything. We
used to hang out at Walmart. We would be bored and we would go hang out at Walmart because there was nothing else to do.
Why? Because there's air conditioning, or what's the reason?
No, there was just nothing else to do. And there's random video games you can play on demo mode. And there's just shit you can fuck around with there that we just had absolutely nothing else to do in a small town, that we were just fuck it, we'll go there for an hour or something.
So I grew up in the valley, much different. Taylor grew up in the city. I grew up in a traditional suburb. Yeah. So we were in Granada Hills, which honestly, Granada Hills is no different than any suburb in the country. There's nothing to do. It's chain restaurants. There's no there's no bars. There's nothing.
Do you have a mall?
We had a mall, a couple malls. But we wouldn't come over to the city for any reason. I think the first time we did was after we got back from college, right? Our senior year, going to D.D. Reese was a big deal.
Oh yeah, I love D.D. Reese.
That was the big
D.D. Reese.
They used to have, it's right next to UCLA. They have they used to at least have 25-cent cookies. You get 4 for $1.
And they would do an ice cream sandwich, 2 cookies, and a scoop of ice cream. It was the biggest staple in LA. That was what we did. We used to hang out in parking lots at Del Taco because we were just bored as shit. So it's not too dissimilar, Pete.
Yeah, you country folk.
What you guys do? What you got? We
went to Hyde at 16 years old, which is a really when we were 15 years old. I remember we all drove down to Mexico. I have a friend who knew someone there. We all got real Mexican IDs, which were obviously fake, but the real Mexican IDs. So we started going to all the clubs in LA at 15 and 16-year-old. I went to Beverly Hills High School, so my friends would be buying $10,000 tables at 15 years old. And it was just the most crazy thing ever.
And these parents don't say anything.
There's a good chance I was partying at a table next to you when you were 15.
Yeah, there's Anand, there's Taylor.
For sure, definitely. But I remember I was like always so uncomfortable because like my friend would get the table and I'd be like, dude, I could literally throw you like $12 for this table because that's all I have.
Yeah.
But we'd all got these fake IDs and we'd go party. And then I remember one of the funniest things when one of my friends was like 17 or 18, the one that used to like party a lot since like 15.
Right.
We like hit him up on a Friday night, but let's go to the club or whatever. He's like, dude, I'm too old for that shit now at like 18.
Which is literally mind blowing to me because we also didn't have clubs in Wisconsin. There's like one place that has clubs. So that was like such an odd concept to me.
I forgot where. There's one club we went to at like for my friend's 21st birthday. And the bouncer looked at him like, wait, it's your I've seen you for
Yeah, one of those guys.
That's so funny.
So we stopped saying, we'd say it's a birthday, and then we just wouldn't, like, we'd celebrate their 25th birthday or whatever. We just wouldn't say the day.
What club was your 21st birthday at?
I didn't do it. It was one of my friends. I think, I'm trying to remember where we went a lot, what was hot. There was a, Lure?
I can tell you how long ago.
Remember Lure?
Lure, yeah. That was never hot.
No, it was for 15-year-olds.
Crowded. Yes, that's probably why I wasn't going. It's a bunch of 15-year-olds. Fucking Jeffrey Epstein was at the door.
Lure, Hyde. There's another one that was like a Viney name. I can't remember. I have to go look back. I think they're I'd have to go. I can't remember all the names.
Did you ever go to Element? Or that you must have been like 10 years old.
No, never Element.
That's when he was just starting to dabble. Like he had gone into one or two at like age fucking 10.
Element was my favorite nightclub in the history of Los Angeles.
I never went to Element. But I remember we went to Vegas at 16 when we all got our IDs and our driver's license. And
it would work?
Yeah, because here's the hard part.
In Vegas.
Vegas is tough now, but it's a real ID, so it really checks out. The only thing is we couldn't go to a Mexican bouncer because they start asking us in Spanish, like, where are you from? I was from Jalisco, Guadalajara. And if it was like a
bunch of Jewish kids from Beverly Hills pretend they all live in Mexico.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. That was actually where I started my hustle. This is a different story, but pretty much first time we went to Vegas, it was the same weekend of EDC, and we didn't even know it. EDC Vegas, and it was just before Uber.
Explain what EDC is to people who may not know.
The biggest rave ever. It's like 100,000 people here, and it's like 15 miles from the Strip in Vegas, and there's nothing in between. It's just like sand, and there's like horse track like 15 miles outside.
2-lane highway.
Yeah, 2-lane highway, exactly. This was before Uber, and we go, and my plan is like, okay, we're gonna find a way to sneak in because like we were kids, we couldn't afford the tickets, like a couple $100. We drive down there because we're sober because I don't think we really drank at the time that much, but we get there and we realize we can't sneak in. Security's so tough, but it's so windy that night that what's it called? The Ferris wheel falls over at EDC. So they shut it down like at midnight. And this is supposed to rave till like 6 or 7 a.m.
Yeah.
No Uber. None of the taxis were there yet because no one was planning to get picked up yet. So there's like 100,000 people that leave at once and no one has any rides and they can't call Ubers or taxis. And I had my car there and I was just like, oh yeah, you guys want to go to the Strip? Like we're going there. We're getting in the car and someone like literally yelled at me like, can you give us a ride? Because everyone's going back to the Strip. And I was like, sure, like $50. And they're like, done. They get in the car. I'm like, wow, that was the easiest $50. I drive back 15 minutes, like 10 miles. And there's a line for taxis, probably a couple thousand people. And I'm just like, rides to the Strip, $250. Someone jumps right away. So I drive him back. We literally made a couple grand that night, just driving 15 miles back and forth. That was the best.
What year was this?
This was, I got to Google the year that it was a Ferris wheel fell down EDC. Ferris wheel, windy EDC.
So the reason I ask, if Taylor just didn't have the stick-up mentality and went home and thought about it, he could have created Uber and be worth $10 billion.
I think I must have been 16 or 17. So it must have been like 2000.
Uber was trademarked in 2008. I think it launched in LA 2009, I want to say. It was in SF in Paris in 08.
And then he probably went and took all that money and blew it on bottles in the club.
Yeah, actually. I'm trying to find the article from when it was maybe 2012.
Okay, maybe Uber just wasn't in Vegas.
Yeah, 2012.
It was a pretty big company by then.
Well, maybe it just wasn't there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy. We had some wild
And
times.
funnier if he just started delivering food. He could have created Postmates too.
Yeah, actually, I was giving out water bottles because I didn't know at the time, but they were all rolling. We had a case of water bottles in the back. $5 a bottle. I just yell out the window.
I would have been $50 a bottle.
I know, but I felt fucked up overcharging people for water when they're thirsty. 5 was a fuckload at the time.
That's true.
Sounds like a good weekend.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, lastly, Anand, give us a quick run through. You got some options that you played on the market. What's your strategy? Talk to me real quick.
So I do this just for fun. I don't play the big bucks like Taylor.
Now, you say just for fun, and you say not the big bucks. What? Put it into some
Sub 10 grand.
Okay.
Greater than 1,000, sub 10.
Okay, so we'll go around 8,000.
So there's a company called Becton Dickinson. It's a huge medical device company. They're worth $70 billion. They have released a 15-minute corona test that you can just find out results in 15 minutes at home, and you can test at home, and apparently the accuracy is fairly decent. They haven't gone into wide-scale production yet. They're hoping for a couple million tests starting in September. So kind of backtracking, there's this concept of efficient market theory that all the news that is publicly available is priced into the stock. A guy won a Nobel Prize in economics for the theory, and he couldn't have been more wrong in the history of finance. It's literally the worst theory in finance that would make everyone who trades stocks. It would make it so you should never be in the stock market because the price should reflect everything.
Don't you think that's what they want people to think?
Yeah, exactly. So I just think it's kind of in our face that this exists, but if they actually scale testing, and if this is the way you get schools open, I mean, I think they're going to get like crazy number of contracts. Like, forget just it should be everywhere.
So what was what placement did you put on it? What did you?
I bought options. The stock's trading at $260. I bought some call options that expire in January of 2021 that have a $300 stock price, and in 24 hours, it's up 30%.
But not liquid, right? You couldn't sell for your 30% right now, or you could?
If I sold it, I probably wouldn't get the full 30. I may get less, but it would still be for a profit.
Amazing.
Let's see. But I mean, I think as rumors of the vaccine keep going, all these stocks are going to go up. But it's gambling. I know what I'm doing. It's gambling. I'm not pretending to retire off this.
Bold move. All right. And lastly, what do we have cracking for the weekend? See what
Is that number 2?
Yes, number 2 now. Have a good Wednesday.
I had a call them a couple days ago. They're crushing it.
So I heard.
Yeah, they're getting in a ton of stores.
Who, these guys?
Yeah.
Good for them. It tastes great.
50 plus. Road to 100.
Wow.
Yeah. They said you've been helping on content, Pete. They really like it. And I said, what do you pay them? They said a couple cases a week.
Where can they find them? Is it all in LA?
Yeah, they have stores all over LA. Their 2 founders, Ethan and Matt, have just been hustling and going door to door to these stores.
That's great.
We're gonna have them on soon. They want to be on so badly.
Yeah, let's bring them on. The only rule is they have to crush a Costa every 5 minutes. It's a 30-minute episode.
I'll do it with them, and we'll all be hammered by the end of it.
Yeah, we got to do 6 in the 30 minutes.
I like that.
Okay, real quickly, what are we doing this weekend? I am not doing pretty much anything, but I'm going on a boat next weekend. So I'll preface it by saying I'm going on a boat.
Cool.
Taylor, you're the only one living an exciting life. My life's the same.
What are you going to bike? He's going to bike like 40, 50 miles this weekend?
No, Saturday morning we have a cycling crew, so we're all going cycling. So that'll be fun. Then
Another 15 miles or what, or more?
15 or 20. And then the goal is, these guys are really funny. They're like, we cycle and then we try to eat more calories than we burn. So we all go to this big brunch after, which is pretty fun. And then I think we'll probably drive down to Houston. Alicia has a photo shoot there, and she has someone like doing like hair and makeup and stuff for the photo shoot. And we're gonna get some shots in Houston, probably stay the night in Houston and come back Sunday.
And just for context, Houston is like Wuhan right now.
Is that right?
Yes. It's Miami and Houston, I think, are the 2 like complete hotspots of corona in the country.
Lee, turns out Houston's a hotspot.
Taylor's just chasing corona.
Literally, nipping at the heels. Like, you might as well have gone to Wuhan the second you heard about it and then just did all this because you would have just been right on track.
I wear my mask.
Houston, I think, is at phase 1 shutdown. I don't think anything's open. From what I read, you can tell it's on the ground.
Did you hear about reports that some testing facility, I think was it Houston or somewhere in Texas? Or no, sorry, somewhere in Florida was reporting numbers back incorrectly, and instead of 98%, they were supposed to be at 9.8% positive.
I saw that.
I didn't get full follow-up if it was true or not, so I hate to spread false news, but
Dude, it's so easy to spread fake news. It's fucking crazy.
You know what's even worse? The CDC is now not allowed, based on a mandate from the Trump administration, to publish public coronavirus data.
Wait, public data? Why wouldn't
They can't tell us how many cases. They can't tell us anything. CDC has now been muzzled.
well, I don't consider that bad because then I'm assuming then governors and everybody else has access to the numbers, just not to the direct public, correct?
The governors are so transparent with all the data, and they have no agenda to push.
You're right. Yes. You're right.
I think you should go to Miami, Taylor. Once you get to Houston, get on a flight to Miami.
Yeah. Why not?
Interesting.
Maybe I got to cycle there now.
Yeah, cycle.
See how Paul Ripke cycle down to you and then you cycle back.
Why don't you do a cycle across the country?
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Taylor cycles across the country.
I would need someone to document it, Pete. So I need you.
It's okay. You can hire me.
You'd be the next by Brady.
I'll work remote for D.
I'm sure he'll love that.
Okay, I guess that does it for us. Great episode, a wonderful time.
Anand, is there going to be an NBA champion this year?
No
chance. No chance.
They're all ratting on each other. We're not going to get to a fucking championship because nobody's going to be left to play because they're all going to be fucking violating terms.
I mean, if you're going outside to grab Postmates within week 1 of being in the bubble, I mean, these guys are like, I mean, they're just not going to follow the rules. I mean, you have like, I think the only people incentivized to follow the rules are LeBron and the Lakers, Giannis and the Bucks, and like 4 teams who actually have a shot to win.
Maybe the vets who know just like, this is my last chance. I could sneak a ring this year.
Yeah, it's like they put too many teams. There shouldn't be 22 teams. It's stupid. I think they kind of mismanaged this whole thing. And now they're in a place where in most cases, and then you have Disney employees that aren't required to stay in the bubble. So your bubble's popped every day.
And those also are like minimum wage employees, right? Who probably don't give a shit about.
Exactly. I don't see how we get through it other than, I mean, I'm hoping for it, but.
You think baseball?
They're actively snitching on other players?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a hotline that you're allowed to call anonymously and snitch.
But which players are snitching? Like, you think they're like, hey, I saw Chris Paul walk outside with LeBron James?
Yeah, it benefits them because now they're getting put on suspension and or on lockdown because of violations.
I mean, all they have to do is cornhole and fishing. These guys are used to being at pop.
And they're chugging beers, just having beer chugging contests. Like, wait, the NBA, not the Bush League.
How can you go from Delilah and Poppy to cornhole?
Cornhole's fun.
I'm a big fan of cornhole, but not that big.
I like cornhole, but for 3 months?
Yeah.
How do you go from LA women and clubs to cornhole and fishing?
And teammates.
Right, with Boban.
Well, just a lot of dudes. Like,
Yeah.
They probably don't want to be in a bubble with like, it's what, 90% males in there, like 95% dudes.
Right.
Yeah.
The next biggest problem they're going to have is the plumbing issue from all the semen that's going to end up in the drain. It's going to be like a college dorm again. Have you not seen those signs where they're like, quit masturbating in the bedroom or in the bathrooms? Like drains are getting clogged. That's what it's going to
exist?
Huh?
I never saw those signs at USC.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them all over. They're all over on Barstool, but we had them even at Madison.
Good to know. There you go. If you never lived in a dorm with a bunch of dudes, now you know what goes on in there.
We're gonna have some backup problems.
All right, I think we end it now, Pete.
Okay. As always, Costa Bravo cocktails. We end on semen. You can always clean your hands with Clean Monster. Taylor, apparently we have a deal. People keep asking me about a deal. What's a Clean Monster deal?
I just saw your text. I have no idea what the fuck that guy's talking about. Oh, there was I don't know. Was there a discount in the?
Somebody asked me. I've had like 2 or 3 people ask me now. I never got a code, so I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't think we ever did a code in the newsletter.
Okay, well, we'll figure out a code for Clean Monster. But as always, head over to cleanmonster.com. Go ahead and pick yourself up some. These are some New Republic shoes, but they're not released yet, so I can't talk anything about them. That's it. That's all I got.
Cool.
Boom.
The video stopped for me. So
You what?
the video stopped for me.
What do you mean the video stopped?
I don't see you guys.
Really? Oh, we don't see you either. Do something weird. Get that on camera, Pete?
Yeah, I got the whole thing.
Now we can cut. We got it.
Okay, bye.